Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another episode of Article Reactions. Some of the articles will be informative, some will be shocking, and some may just make you shake your head. We will be starting shortly. You do have the opportunity to financially support the channel in order to help it grow. So, in the very least of that manner, please like, share, and subscribe. Join Char Willie and Classic Ruby for their radio show, Keep the Beat. They broadcast every Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on CRBJ, Classic R&B Jams. There are discussions of the songs, and that can take you back down memory lane. If you missed the live broadcast, no worries. Replays are uploaded on Mixcloud. So, follow JustAskChar Advice channel on Mixcloud and you will receive the notification when these broadcasts are uploaded. So, thank you everyone for joining the show. We are about to get started.
Happy Saturday, ding, ding, ding. Happy Saturday, everyone. How are you this Saturday? I hope that everything is going well for you. Weather, all that good stuff. Run the errands. And you know, it's rent time for a lot of folk. So I hope everyone has that ready. That is something that is important that you need to have. And if you do not, do keep in mind that your state has allocated some funds if you are behind. And it can't be recent, like I think in the last 30 days, it can't be then because they're going to help people in need. Well, you would be in need, but just think if someone is 3 months behind, their need will be greater than yours with 1 month behind. So do reach out to your state. Do not be shame, afraid. No one has expected this pandemic. No one looked forward to it. There's really nothing you can do about it. There's so much that's going on. So keep that in mind. It's okay. We're all trying to work this thing out. As I tell you, if I get information, I will definitely share it with you. I hope I was able to encourage you guys that did listen to apply for the grant so you were able to get the $1,000. If there's anything else out there, like I said, I definitely will tell you. No doubt. And the last thing, which, well, technically is the first thing, I just reminded you about the rent, but as far as with unemployment, there are 5 states that has started processing payments, the $300, because remember the president asked for $400, but $300 you definitely would get. The other $100 was going to have to come from the state. Most states are, and dire straits, so they couldn't give you that other $100, but you were guaranteed the $300. So those 5 states are Texas, Tennessee, Louisiana, Arizona, and Missouri. They have passed it. They started processing the money as early as last week, I think it was. I think last Tuesday. So some people may have gotten notice that they'll receive something as of yesterday. Some people may receive something stating they'll get something next week. But they have began. So that's good. It's 5 states and, got it going on right now. Now, every state is, they have their own time frame. Some are slower than others. Hey, it is what it is. And we can't do anything about that. But do know that there is something. Now, I did mention before, there's only going to be 3 weeks. They were hoping for 5, but counting the number of people times $300 per week, only 3 weeks is guaranteed. So just wanted to let you guys know that. And let's see what we got here. Oh, let me get the intro music going. Gotta get the intro. Intro for someone I see over there. Who is that? I think I know that lady. Yeah, I think I know her. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage.
Greetings.
Oh, I thought I was gonna get my name announced. All right, okay. I guess it's big. I'm used to you going classic Ruby, y'all, classic Ruby. But greetings, good evening, good evening.
Good to see you. How are you?
Just hanging in there, hanging in there. Apparently, some people are starting to plan for next weekend already. Our first holiday, I guess, since COVID-19 started, that we're allowed to get together as groups. So
yeah,
so make some plans for that barbecue and whatnot. Hopefully that's gonna go off without a hitch. People will be able to do that and just keep the lawn chairs 6 feet apart. You'll be fine.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right,
Exactly.
The weather, I'm pretty sure, will be fine.
Exactly. You've got to enjoy this tiny piece of warmth before we go back to 6 months of winter, right? So.
Right. You're right. Oh well. Well, I don't have a whole lot of sad stuff. At least, just got one thing that really angers me.
Oh.
And the rest is like, hey, it's life.
All right. got a little COVID update, as I told y'all yesterday. So I wanted to make sure I bring that out for these people who are like, COVID-19 disappeared. It's imaginary. It doesn't exist anymore, and it ain't hurting nobody. Just so we're all clear. There are still effects, and yes, social distancing still matters. So we're definitely going to cover that today to get you guys to open your eyes and realize, yes, it's still worth it. It's still worth it wearing a mask. Stay 6 feet apart. You're allowed to hug your kids and your spouse and whatever. Just nod at people. Stand a little far apart from them. Don't you guys like your personal space anyway? Like, I like personal space. I like these new laws, right? Because now people can't touch you for no reason while they're talking to you, make you feel uncomfortable. So I don't know. I'm good with it.
Okay.
Get into
I always move anyway. They reach out to me, I move. I'm like,
Right? Like, I just grit my teeth and I try to put on a smile because I feel like I must be the abnormal one because, women are like my whole life growing up, they're always touchy-feely. And I wasn't. So I figured since I'm the abnormal one, I should grit my teeth and bear it. But my God, just keep your hand to yourself, man. Just,
Yeah, my mom taught me when I was younger. She said, people can't see unless they touch it. And I started seeing that by third grade. I understood exactly what she was talking about.
It's so true, and I'm trying to feel y'all. I'm trying, but honestly, I don't. Just don't touch me. I love the fact that I have COVID-19 as an excuse now, and with like the extra people, it's been great this last week being sick because I just go, I have a fever, and they go, oh! And they back up, right? So they don't forget, just in case. So I do think I'm just gonna do that for the rest of my life. Like anytime I see people, the touchy-feely ones, I'm just gonna go, careful, I have a fever, right? And they'll back up and they won't touch you. So it's going to be great. I have a new battle plan.
All right. Well, I'll let you go first. I don't need to fumble first this time. I know you got it together, so I'll let you go ahead.
Damn,
all honors
you give me too much credit. Way too much credit over here. But okay, fine. I can do 30-second scramble. I got this going. Okay, so let us go share screen.
See, you tapping already. I'll be still like, okay, now which way that go? Okay, now I got the direction. Now.
Okay, fair. I got you. Okay. All right. So now, and like I said, I mean, this is a sad story because these people got together over something that's supposed to be happy and bring joy to people's lives, i.e., a wedding. And yet there was a coronavirus outbreak at a wedding. Dozens of
Oh,
people tested positive for coronavirus after attending this wedding, and they did identify patient zero. Um, and patient zero, unfortunately, has died. Now, they're pretty sure she's patient zero at least. And that's according to the main Centers for Disease Control. And they have been basically what they're saying is currently none of the other 32 positive cases, 32. Remember, you're only allowed to get together in meetings of 50, right? Um, Now, and people have been going over that. So I believe that at this wedding there was 64 cases, or 64 people at the wedding itself, and half of them came down with COVID-19. One has died so far, and unfortunately, this is not just a matter of, health and safety violations. So, oh, we're going to ticket the wedding reception place for not following the rules, or ticket the vendors or whoever. This is a matter now of 50% of the attendees, and we don't know currently about vendors and whatnot, came down with COVID-19. And they told them, you can only handle 50 people. Over that, there's not enough space. They said, well, I've had this wedding planned. It's the moment of my dreams. I'm the bride. I can do what I want to do, which is what happened, right? And remember, this is an indoor event. So they could have done it outside and said, well, I want my 65 people, so let's do it outside at least. No. They decided that they could go inside, smush the 65 people in together, and there was going to be no repercussions. And unfortunately, again, like we said, there has been 32 people who have tested positive. One has died so far.
oh boy.
And that's just in counting. I believe the wedding was August 7th. Okay? So for
Wow.
those of you who think, "Oh, well, they're just bullying us, right? They're just trying to make us do things we don't want to do. It's not fair." This is what happens when you decide you're not going to follow these rules. They haven't made it a federal law, fine, but this is what happens when you don't follow the rules. You think you're okay. You think the woman who showed up to the wedding, you think patient zero showed up to this wedding thinking they were sick, thinking they could infect an entire room of people? Do you think that's what happened? Probably not. I'm sure patient zero wasn't sitting there and coughing and sneezing all over the place, right? But they were probably one of those silent carriers. And now look where it's gotten everybody. So, I wanted to say also, just so we all know, that the median age of confirmed cases is 42 years old. And that's anywhere from 4 years old to 78 years old.
Oh,
7 of the cases are in children under the age of 18. So now, and keep in mind, and now here's the interesting part, right? Is so of the cases that have been detected, 87% have been cases where the individual is symptomatic. That means 13% of the people who tested positive had no symptoms. 13.
oh,
That's a
wow.
large percentage for something that is airborne, and apparently very readily and easily passed around. Now, I don't know if at this wedding they were wearing masks or not. I'm sure they said that they are, but I don't know if they decided to wear masks or they said, well, no, it's a special occasion. Let's not wear masks. Social distancing is enough. But again, clearly it wasn't. Clearly.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. It would not have stopped the two from being married if they would have, um, well,
Hmm.
possibly, if they would have just got with a um, pastor and got married, and
Right.
that's it, and just throw the party later because that's what in my opinion, that's what it's all about, the party. Um,
Right.
and people would have been safe. They could come to a party in the future.
Hmm.
But now, look at the lives that's been touched by this.
Exactly.
Wow.
Right. And that's the thing right now. The problem is, right, is they are saying, hey, listen, we don't want to turn into like a military country, military state everywhere and force you all, by risk of death or jail or, impossible fines to make you do what's best for public safety. We're just going to ask you to. And that's basically what it is. So, like, they gave the Big Moose Inn, that's what it's called, a citation for not following the rules, but there's no financial penalty attached to that. So there's no financial blockage to them just doing this over and over and over again. So, in this case, it comes down to I don't know if Big Moose Inn cares. Maybe they don't care because for them, it's all about the money and you're paying them. They probably charge you all kinds of extra money for having to, detox their facility after you leave and blah, blah, blah. So, what it comes down to is maybe they don't care. But the question is, how much do you care about your loved ones? Because you invited everyone that you truly love and that truly loves you to this big day. And they didn't want to miss it and they didn't want to let you down. So they showed up. So then the question becomes, how much do you love your loved ones if you're going to put them in this kind of predicament? You know what the rules are for safety. You decided to violate them and say, I don't care. I want 65 people because I'm Bridezilla. And now half of your wedding, and again, there's a bunch of children in there. There's 78 years old. It's probably a grandma, grandpa, something like that. Who knows? Parents, best friends, people who may be pregnant. We don't know exactly who the 32 cases are. But what we do know for sure is that the bride and groom aren't currently mentioned as people who've come down with this. So basically, they got to have their cake and eat it too. And, who cares about the fallout to your friends and family? Like, guys, let's be a little bit smarter than this. In society, you can hold off. Just like you said, Char. You know what? Listen, everything can be cast online. Everything can be recorded. You could have easily sat there and, you have your immediate families as far as parents or whatever, your best man and
Yeah.
maid of honor, and you cast that on Zoom. Everyone gets to watch it from home. And then, you know what? Like you said, you have your actual in-party reception celebration once things are a little bit, calmer, things have died down.
Right.
I'm sure there were some type of refund policies and whatnot with the vendors. They decided they didn't want to cancel their fund. So,
Wow.
hmm
Well, I'm pretty sure they're looked at differently now.
right, exactly. For the rest of your life, that one death you're never going to forget that. All those people getting sick, if they get all better, that's one thing. But every single person that dies, you're going to attach your wedding day with how many people died because of you. That's not something you want to do. Like, come on.
Right.
Mm.
Wow. Okay. All right. So what I have is, let's see. Let me make sure I have the right screen. Let's see. That's that one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Babysitter bidding wars. As Chicago parents shell out $25 per hour, paid vacation, and $1,000 signing bonus during pandemic. Wealthiest families wins out. Now, just think about the title, $25 an hour. If you can get past that part, we're not even going to go into the vacation and the $1,000 signing bonus to pay someone to watch your child. Now, this is
Mm-hmm.
per child. I just
Wow.
want to make that clear. This is per child.
Brilliant. Just brilliant.
Per child. If you make, let's just say, if you're out there listening and you make $40 an hour, or even $50 an hour. What do you have left? I'm just kind of curious.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's what's going on here. So let me read into a little bit of this. All right. The woman that's shown here, she expected to pay a pretty, she expected to pay a nanny about $16 to $20 an hour to care for one baby in Chicago, easily accessible Lakeview neighborhood. But when Hannah, a lawyer who didn't want to use her last name to protect her family's privacy, called a nanny search firm in March, she was told that demand was higher than usual, that she should offer $18 to $20 an hour. Then, when interview began, as far as the nannies are concerned, they were asking for $25 an hour. We heard a couple of different, and then in quotation mark, explanations, Hannah said. One was the market was more competitive and nannies were having several offers on the table. One of my friends who had a couple nannies turn her down was told, I already have other offers. When daycare centers closes due to COVID-19, the parents are seeking e-learning assistance for their children. Nannies and sitters are in high demand, and now there are indications that pay is on the rise. Qualified sitters are getting minimum starting pay of about $18 an hour, up from $16 an hour before COVID-19. That's still some good money.
Real
All
good
right.
money.
Yeah, that's still pretty
Like,
good.
wow.
Hannah, who declined to say how much she ended up paying her nanny, told the Tribune that several of her friends were hired nannies at $25 or $30 an hour. And that's care for one baby. Now, my question is, why did she decline to tell how much she paid? That's
True.
what I'm wondering. Why? Are you embarrassed? Uh, I mean, what? If you've gone this far to share information about the cost, what's going on out there, why did you stop right there when it came down to what you pay? I always wonder that about people. It's like you
Mm-hmm.
tell me, oh, I'm moving to the suburbs of Chicago. I'm going to move to Wilmette. That's what I'm going to move to because, um, it's a lot cleaner there
Right.
and more houses and a little quieter. I'm going to move there. Now, the rent normally costs around $1,500. Oh, wow, it does? Oh, okay. Yeah, I know in the regular Chicagoland is about 1,000. So, okay, you pay a little bit more than 500. I mean, a little more, about 50% more actually, $1,500. Oh no, I pay more than that. No, the person says, oh, well, I'm not going to tell you how much I pay.
Mm.
Now I'm wondering why did you give me that much information and then stop right there? I
Mm-hmm.
always wonder why do people do that?
Hmm.
I just don't know. One
Good
day
point.
I'm
Good
going to
point.
ask someone.
Exactly. That's
I
all you
don't
can
know
do.
who. I haven't got a chance. No one has gone that far. I've always heard conversation. It was never direct with me. So I never got a chance to actually have a conversation with someone that volunteered that much information.
Right.
But anyway, now as far as with this, there are a lot of people that are paying a lot of money when it comes down to having their children or babysat is what we call it. And there are programs that help a lot of those mothers out here to go to school so they can get some type of certification, degree, and start a career because the laws in Illinois has changed. Now you have 5 years to be on a public aid type assistance. It used to be until your oldest was 18. Um, that they had to stop that because it seemed like as soon as that child got about 16, whoop, here come another child, and they had to give more money and more Section 8 and all that, la la la. So now they just changed the rule. They're like, you have 5 years, regardless of what your situation is. That's all you have. And so it is expensive. Now these people, just think about it, they're paying out of pocket $25. But a lot of these people, they have to go to work. So what are they going to do? Their children have to learn, because not all of them are, even though this particular woman has a small child, but a lot of them are not just infants. They're able to walk and
Yep.
talk, and they need that e-learning.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So
Hmm.
it's like I said, there's a lot of stuff going out there. You have to look for programs, but even more so, you have to stop it. Oh, okay. You have to really hunt for
Right.
some assistance out there. It's out there. Like I said to everyone, when I hear something, I will share it. But um, when I've called the cable company just a few Saturdays ago, I'm hearing people's children in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for certain they're telling you that you have to do something when it comes down to that. You have to have your children, uh, quiet because you're serving customers.
Yep.
But if you don't have this type of money to have your child watched by someone, what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to say, look, Billy, here's some candy or whatever. Sit in the corner there. Mommy be with you as soon as they can. But, how far would that go?
Right.
Little Billy want to play. He love mommy.
Well, and it's funny because my best friend, that's literally what she's always done now. But she's also cleverly set herself up in such a way that even, I mean, I'm talking about like years ago when my godson was much, much younger. She would always bring him to work if she, needed to go in on, a weekend, or the babysitter got sick or whatever. But she also worked normally kind of by herself and in such a way that she could pull it off. But a lot of people don't have that option, right? Like, I
Right.
remember on occasions going into work with one of my parents. Now, one of them worked with children, so that was a little bit easier because, like, well, my kid's here too, so I guess they're all going to play. It's going to be fine. And then the other one would work like office jobs and stuff. So if I had to go in with her, it was normally like on a weekend, and it's like, yeah, sit over there and play with the file papers and stuff while I do real work, or run around the office, go explore, whatever. But some people don't work in situations like that, like customer service, or you work in a store, like let's say like a clothing store or something like that. Like you can't just bring your kid to work in that case. And I can't remember exactly how long ago it was, but you might remember there was a woman, and I believe she was charged with some type of crime, and like the crime that she was charged, basically the problem was she couldn't find a babysitter, and she had to go to work. She did not have the option to not go to work. She worked at a McDonald's, and she didn't have the option to not go to work. So what she did was she left her kid, who yes was too young to be left alone, but left her kid in the park across, like basically like across from the McDonald's, so she could see the kid through the window at all times, but left the kid in the park because she had no choice. Because she had to bring the kid to work. She can't bring the kid inside the McDonald's. Put him behind the desk and say, yeah, okay, here, go and play with the fries. So, what are you supposed to do? And that's the unfortunate part, is that this woman, she's in a catch-22. She has no choice but to work. She can't afford to lose this job. She can't afford to take a day off. But at the same time, what does she do if she can't afford a babysitter right now? What does she do if her babysitter calls in sick? What does she do if the babysitter she can barely afford jacks up their prices? Well, then, you know,
Right.
and jacking up. I understand why babysitters and nannies and stuff are jacking up their prices, because children are germ factories. They are literally like living embodiments of illness. If you want to catch some horrible virus, be near a child. That's it. They just carry them. It's like they're just carriers of germ. So I get it. You are putting yourself more at risk if you're going to watch children. You are.
Yes.
And so I get that. I get why you want hazard pay as well. And I also understand why it is, as a babysitter, why you would want to take advantage of that. Because, yes, on one side, you're risking your health. But on the other side, like, man, I got to eat too. Right? Like, I want to be able to pay my bills easily. And this is my chance. So I kind of get it. I do. I get why you would take advantage. But, you know.
Yeah. Now, as far as the increase from, it was normally like $16. Okay, they asked for 18, some 25. Okay, that's really not a lot per se, because now, as I mentioned with the e-learning, you have to help that child. You know, you have to clean. You have to do a lot of preparation to keep yourself safe. So I understand that. I clearly do now with the $1,000 bonus and the 2 weeks paid vacation. I don't know about all that now. What's really going on?
Hey, man, get how you live. You know, I mean, I get it. I wish I was 17, man. I'd be making a killing. I was a great babysitter, right? $50 an hour, benefits, dental. Trust me, I'd be all over that. I'd be all over that. I want benefits for stuff I ain't even gonna use.
Shame.
Oh man,
that's funny. That is funny.
I legitimately, I know it's I'm not encouraging people to take advantage, but if you are, okay, I feel like sliding scales were invented for a reason. And so I feel as though if you watch several children, let's say, right, then the ones that come from affluent families, you should be, you know, $50, $100, $300 an hour, whatever it is. You know, they pay you that. Especially because those types of families are going to require you to do certain things to keep their kids safe, right? So they're going to require you not to watch anyone else's kids anymore. They're going to require you not to go out places, not to socialize certain, you know what I mean? They're probably going to ask you to do all kinds of things to keep their kids safe as well in your spare time. So I get it. But, you know, for the average, you know, middle income, you know, family, maybe charge them a little less than that. And then, you know, if you've got a couple kids that, you know, come from single parent struggling homes, maybe you charge them a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, charge people on a sliding scale what they can afford. But yeah, definitely if you got some rich clients, milk them for everything they're worth. They can afford it.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so for my next trick, what we're gonna do, I'd like to take a look at this video. Now, I don't normally do star entertainment things in general. Yeah. We don't really do that with the news, but I did want to talk about this one thing, and I want to talk about it because it's a topic that is near and dear to my heart, which is what we do with our children's hair. I actually wrote, oh my God, I think 12 years ago, maybe 10 or so, a letter I posted on my website, and the title is "A Letter to White Moms with Biracial Children."
Okay.
Yeah. And in that letter, basically, I started off at the beginning and I just kind of say, like, listen, I understand that this can also apply to Black mothers with Black children or with half Black children or whatever. But basically, then in big red bold letters, I write, Your kid running around with her hair a mess because you refuse to learn how to do it is sad and despicable. I think most of the readers don't get past that line. And so they just mostly spend their time responding to me by yelling and being upset at my life. And I'm fine with that. But in there, I talk about this thing where with our small children, we refuse to learn how to do their hair. We refuse to learn how to nurture and care for their hair, and we refuse to learn how to praise their hair as is. And so as a result, they never learn how to love themselves. They never learn how to appreciate their own hair for what it is. Now, this is a baby, okay? This is a 1-year-old. I want you to look at this 1-year-old right here. And you can see her hair. Do you see how long her hair is? Yeah. No,
yes.
That's not her hair. This is weave. She's 1.
What?
She's not 3. Yes. This is weave. She's a baby. She's got baby, you know, like that little baby, mini fro that they get when they're like 1. She's only 1. Yeah. She's got like 10, 12 inches of silky, whatever, yucky weave in her head.
Oh.
Right. So this was, I mean, you can see here that there was a lot of hate, and the mother, Porsha, and she's one of those star people, you know, from I'm gonna put it on here so you can see her. She's one of those stars from Real Housewives of Atlanta. And so, you know, and she's been posting, so on top of that, right, we know that what her daughter's hair looks like because she has taken the time. Oh no, what did I do? Oh, I know what I did. Oh no, it's the right one. I just zoomed it in a lot so that way we could see the pictures better. But yeah, we spent a lot of time. Oh great, now I zoomed it in and the picture disappeared. Oh well, anyway. So Porsha Williams from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. She clearly not happy. Look at this. Her hair is longer and healthier than yours, so please mind y'all bald-headed business. Right? Okay, so let's think about this. If her hair is longer and healthier than everyone else's, then why was it necessary for you to put 10 feet of weave in her hair? If her hair is so beautiful and it's something to be proud of, why would you put all of that weave inside of this baby girl's hair and then splash it all over YouTube because you're so, or not YouTube, Instagram, because you're so proud of it? Right? So this is it just disgusts me that we do this to our small children's hair, right? And then we wonder why our young girls grow up hating themselves. We wonder why our young girls grow up thinking that they're lesser than, and then acting out in ways trying to be validated and trying to feel special. I mean, why is it we just had the other day in the news that surgeon, if you remember, the surgeon with the surgeon who had braided that woman's hair, right? Because he loved his daughters exactly as they were enough that he learned how to style their hair. And so we have a surgeon who's sitting there and braiding an older woman's hair, or like a young woman, but you know, still hair. But we've got this reality star who's got the reach of millions and millions of fans. And this is what she's doing to her 1-year-old daughter. And this is what you know, you've got a bunch of people who are following you, who are holding you up as an icon, who are holding you as life goals, relationship goals, you know, family goals, motherhood goals, whatever. You know that. And this is what you're doing to your little girl. And when I saw this, I couldn't, I was just blown away. I normally don't care what reality people are doing. I honestly don't. But in the case of this, I just looked at this. When I thought about Beyonce, if y'all remember, they came for her daughter's hair, right? You know, and oh, you guys don't do anything to her hair. And I, on one side, I was just kind of like, yeah, they could put a little bit more effort into styling her hair. But, you know, at least they left it natural because she's a baby, you know? Oh, whereas you've got this one here And look at that. Like it's not even like little afro puffs or something, you know? It's that silky, shiny, wavy, curly hair. So this little girl is going to be looking at baby pictures of herself that tell her even when she was 1 years old, her natural hair wasn't good enough in 2020.
Wow.
I yeah, I was just see, this is why y'all need to stop holding these reality stars up as though they're something special. And there's something where like from Cardi B's or these Real Housewives or whatever it is. Like, we need to stop holding these people up as though there's something special, there's someone to be followed or to be praised or to be idolized. Like, I'm over them. I'm so over this. I can't. It infuriated me to see that. I felt so bad for that baby. I felt so bad for the life I know she's gonna leave with that mother, a mother who sees her 1-year-old daughter's hair as deficient and ugly. Is that still that soft baby fro to the point where she's gonna do that? Oh God, poor thing.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Speaking of mothers, I'm not understanding how people, mothers, take time out to watch other women. I don't get that. I don't understand that. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, as women, we have cycles. We got to deal with that. We got children we have to deal with. We're going through this pandemic, and we are so concerned about another woman, a whole
Mm-hmm.
woman.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't get that. And I just wanted to shout out to the person in the chat room just to give them a little word. You
Mm-hmm.
be blessed, sister, and get you some prayer. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as far as with the weave and all of that, I've just personally, I just never cared for it, um, especially since everyone looked the same. So that's when I noticed it. I didn't notice it before until everyone looked the same. I looked like, wait a minute, that's the same length. That's the same length. Same. Wait a minute,
Mm-hmm.
they're giving this away. What's going on? And then when they turn around and I seen they were little, children, or in my case, I call them children, 14, 13 years old. I'm like, what's going on with their hair?
Mm-hmm.
What's up under there? So I just never cared for that. Now, I'm not sure why she did that to the baby. Maybe she's conditioned to think if it's not thick, it's just not good. I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know what's going on with that, but
Right.
um, yeah, you got to be careful when you put the stuff on social media.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to have comments about it. So
Right.
she
Yeah.
knows now. If she didn't know before, she knows now.
I think part of her, and that's part of the issue too, right? Is these people use their children for attention and validation, right? No, you haven't trended lately, so they're kind of okay, whether it's good or bad. I think there's sometimes they're okay with this kind of attention. In fact, if anything, she might have gotten more attention from this than a lot of things she's done. She might do something else outrageous next week with this baby girl, just so she can get more hate because there's no such thing as bad promo. So uh, I don't know. That's why I stay away from these. I know that when I have children, they're not idolizing any of this foolishness. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. All right. Let me go on to the next thing. I got one thing that has to do with a police officer. Hey, what can you do?
Mm.
Just one, though. Just
Okay.
one. One
Okay.
story with police officer.
I'll brace myself.
Yeah, brace yourself. Because
Mm.
one, I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to show the headline, read it, and move on, and then go on to the next one. All right. Application, your phone window. All right. Where are you? There you are. Bam. This was released some hours ago this morning. Former officer in George Floyd killing asks judge to dismiss case. Now I ain't gonna say anything about that. You ponder on that. What is that all about? So I'm moving right on. Next story. It's a bunch of foolishness. All right, share screen. I got to turn this timer off. I put my champagne in the freezer
Oh.
because I like it real cold. And the
Mm-hmm.
timer is beeping at me. And I'm like, okay, just a minute.
Right.
I'm coming.
Mm-hmm. Get ready for Saturday night. All right, then. I
That's
see
right.
you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Black man questioned by white police officers for having too many credit cards. Okay. I don't know how and when this became an issue, crime, in your business. I'm just saying.
Right.
I don't get it all. Oops, you know what? I'm gonna go back and share the audio. I didn't click that button, and I got so used to not having audio. Now I just bypass it automatically. So forgive
Mm-hmm.
me. I got to go back in, do that, and that gives me a minute. That's all I need to go grab that champagne. Woohoo! Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
A little bit. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
We figured it was from outside. It couldn't have been you. It's fine.
Oh, okay. All right. So, yeah. So this is the title. Let me go to the video. I think it's gonna have a commercial first. Isn't that something?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. It did when I was reading it.
In my credit card. My credit card.
You're on camera, man.
Yeah.
Can you prove it that on your credit card?
I just did.
Dude, I didn't see your name until just
There I
now.
go right there.
Man, hold on. Look
No,
at
sir.
that. And prove to me that the rest of those cars are yours with your
Oh,
name
they
on
are. All of my name on it.
it. Absolutely.
I'm in a hurry. My wife down there, she broke down. There they go.
Hang on, let's make sure, man. Ryan.
Yeah, that's mine.
Square. Okay, that's one. You've got like 10 there, man.
All of them is mine.
Okay,
all
I
of them.
understand that.
All of them.
I'm just trying to slow down
All
for
those
me.
are mine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, there's more there, man.
They're mine. They mine.
Listen, I'm not
sir.
trying to make this more difficult than
Sir,
it is, but
they
you
mine.
are.
They mine. That's all.
Okay.
They mine. Look, I got the same two cards. That's mine.
Okay.
Thank you.
But you understand why we're even talking with
I
you?
got you.
Pardon?
I got you.
Okay.
No, I had the wrong pin in some of my cards. I got to go on my phone and unlock it.
Okay.
So that's why I was switching
That's
cards.
reasonable. That
And-
makes sense.
and-
'Cause, you know.
Yeah, I got my kids on my account, so I got different of the same cards. You
Okay.
know?
So you gotta have, because I know you're with Navy Federal
Yeah.
Credit Union, right? So you have like 10 different cards from them.
I got my kids on account.
Yeah.
And I got myself on account, and me and my wife is on account.
Gotcha. Okay. Again, we're only asking you that because somebody
Yes,
brought it to
sir.
our
Yeah,
attention.
okay.
They were concerned, and that's
Yeah.
why we're gonna talk
I
with
mean,
you.
they
about
could have asked me. I mean,
Keep
it all
in
this
mind this:
come-
some people they don't look at things like, "Hey, I'm gonna stop this guy or ask this guy a question." They want us to handle that because they don't feel like it's their business for them to come up to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because how if you saw somebody doing something like that, would you say something to them? You'd probably come and find us and say, "Hey, you mind
Yeah,
going over
well,
there?"
my wife down there broke down, so I'm trying to get
Where she broke down at?
way down there off of Crowley.
Oh, Crowley?
Well, that was street that is. I'm not from here. I don't know
Oh, how'd you end up in Burleson?
because I'm getting a tattoo over here.
Oh,
And
you
I'm-
are?
Yes,
Okay, is that what you're drawing money out for?
yes,
Okay. You gonna go help your wife?
yes. I'm gonna get to her first.
Okay, I got you. Just bear with us a minute, man. Anytime that we're out with someone, for just accountability purposes, you write your license, and then once we're done with that, then we'll get you out of here. Cool. Here you go, sir. Everything's good to go.
Yes, sir.
Best of luck.
All right, so the brother made it safely to his car. Now, I had to calm myself down. I was really upset about this, and I'll read the article. The level of racism Black people have to endure is mind boggling at times, according to the Daily Mail. A Black man in Texas who didn't commit a crime, nor was accused of one, was being questioned by white police officers based on the number of credit cards he happened to have in his wallet earlier this month. On August 12th, at a gas station in Fort Worth suburbs of Burleson, I think that's how you pronounce it, I'm not sure, Texas, 39-year-old Brian Breyer had been seen withdrawing cash from an ATM when three white police officers came up to him and insisted that he show them his identification. Breyer decided he should record the interaction, especially as a Black man in today's climate. Breyer, who works as a forklift operator, told the Daily Mail, I was at the ATM machine at the store, minding my own business, looking through my cards to see which one I could use, or would use, rather. The next thing I know, a policeman came up to me saying that I have a lot of credit cards. Then two other officers pop up. I started filming because I was frightened. He had a gun on him, and the other ones had guns too. In the video, an officer says, prove to me the rest of those cards are yours. You have 10 in there. The officer also questioned why he was in the area. How did you end up here? The Daily Mail obtained a statement from Chief Cordell from the Burleson Police Department. He stated, our three officers had stopped in the QT to take a break, and I am told were approached by a male witness who told them the gentleman was at an ATM machine attempting to get money while using multiple cards, and that the transaction kept being denied. He said the man was acting suspicious. The officers approached the man, activated their body-worn cameras, and explained why they were contacting him. Officers observed multiple receipts and cards as described by the witness. Officers asked him if he mind sharing identification to match the name on the cards, and he eventually provided identification and cards. Now, if there's no tampering with the machine,
Mm-hmm.
trying to turn it over, rock it, anything like that, that's ridiculous. That is totally ridiculous, and it is not necessary, nor is it legal. I can have 50 cards. Now what? Why are you concerned that every card in my wallet, with your no search warrant self, while you're on break, want to look at these things? And you know, when they had his ID, they had to check to see if he had any warrants. Hey, might hit the jackpot. We got one for y'all. I was so upset when I seen this, extremely angry. And that guy, when the officer said, you understand it, right? Or something like that, how he asked him.
Yep.
And that response that young man gave, you can tell he was like, Lord have mercy. I just went out of here. I know this is some BS.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's some BS. You could hear it in his tone. He's like, he didn't say, but that's what he was saying. I know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Right.
Well, I think cleverly he said, I got you. Right now, the cop took that to mean like, yeah, I understand why it was necessary to stop my day and blah, blah, blah. No, he said, I got you.
Yeah,
That
that
can
was
mean a
the
lot of
term.
things. Yep.
Thank you.
And that can mean a lot of things. And I heard the tone of voice. I mean, we would hear it, so we know exactly what it means. It means
Yes.
I got you. Yeah, I do know why you. It's because I'm black in public, and I have more than two cards, one debit card, one credit card, because that's all I should be able to have as a black man. As soon as I qualify for multiple credit cards, that means I have decent credit, and no black man could have decent credit. So therefore, I must be committing a crime. Yeah, I got you. I understand why that was necessary to you, right? Because you're racist. So he said a lot with the I got you, right? But, this oblivious, entitled, white privileged cop thought, oh, yeah, see, he's agreeing with me. I'm not unreasonable after all. See, I can go home and still tell my family I'm not racist, right? That's what happened right there. Mm-hmm.
I have just been pulled away from the content looking in the chat room.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not understanding why the conversation is not what we're talking about. I am pretty clear that I appreciate you coming to the channel to support. That's with your time, that's with the conversation, and also financially if you have it. I really appreciate that. But if I'm talking about numbers, please don't talk about the weather.
Right.
And that's my only time I'm going to say this. Thank you.
What in the world?
Now, back to the content. I was really upset about this because how could this stand? And the guy, the chief or whoever he was, with that BS statement he made. I'm like, you can't speak for something that you were not there. You can't speak for that. I don't care if you looked at the body camera. We're looking at what's going on in the camera too. We see it too. And the way you described it is some BS. Like, oh, this is, this is fine, Someone came up to the officer and said, hey, there's some suspicion here.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we got a lot of suspicion. A lot of us are struggling financially. So we all look suspicious. How about that? We got stuff on our mind. We have families to feed. So
Right.
all of us look suspicious. So what, you're going to ask us for our IDs? So I'm not accepting this BS excuse. And these are the type of things I keep saying. They need to have their own personal insurance away from their job because they need to be held accountable. They need to be sued civically.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no law on the book per se, right? I mean, first of all, cops technically are there's no laws against cops. That's why they have to be fired before they're charged with anything.
Right.
Now, with that being said, there aren't really any rules specifically governing their behavior. And see, this is why you have people who run around now, and I've seen it. Now, normally the channels that are about this, right? Because there are a few channels that are about literally enforcing your rights as a citizen and, either stopping cops who approach you or stopping cops who approach other people and, asserting your rights or asserting the other person's rights. It's normally like some white kid who does it. But either way, what I've noticed and these videos, because I've watched a lot of them actually, and what you'll see is the cops will sit there and they'll lie. They'll outrightly lie what they have the right to. They'll outrightly lie about what you have no choice but to do, what they're allowed to arrest you over, all kinds of stuff. And the thing is, we know, and this is the thing that, these kids with the white privilege don't understand. They can walk around and assert their rights and it works, right? We walk around and assert our rights. We get arrested and they just say that we did something else on the arrest warrant that we didn't do. So, it comes down to, you had no warrant to search him. You didn't even have reasonable cause to search him, because a black man having several plastic cards inside of his wallet, which is where plastic cards belong, is not a crime. It's not even suspicious. It's not suspicious at all. No one said, oh, well, he used a debit card with this name and then used a credit card with this name and then used another credit card with a different name. No one reported anything that was actually suspicious. So because nothing was actually suspicious other than, hey, my PIN doesn't work, that's not suspicious. People forget their PINs all the time. People mess up their PINs all the time. I do it constantly. I can't even get into Discord on one of my devices because I don't remember what the password is, and it's my password. I made it for my same thing with my email. I don't reset nothing because I don't remember. It's so true, because I don't remember my password to anything, not to my email, not to any of to YouTube. I don't remember my password to nothing. And now that Google did that thing where they just automatically log you into stuff, man, I would never be able to get into my Google account, ever. People forget their passwords. They forget their PINs. That's not suspicious. That's not suspicious of criminal activity. And this brother knew that. And on top of that, he's got somewhere to go and somewhere to be. His wife got injured. He doesn't know how bad or not because he's not there. Either way, he needs to go take care of her. Now, he didn't do anything wrong, but he knows if he asserts his right there, right? I don't have to show you nothing. Sir, I didn't do anything wrong. Charge me with a crime or I'm walking out the door. He knows he's going to get charged with a crime. He's going to get arrested. His perfect record's going to be blemished forever when he didn't do anything wrong because he was black in public with plastic cards inside of his wallet. All legal. Really?
Yeah. And I don't even care if it has some other names on it. So what? What are you going to do if I got Jim Brown on there? Oh, this card doesn't have. Okay. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have a name. So who is this? My cousin. What you doing with your cousin card? Mm-hmm. He gave it to me. Well, we have to take you in. What kind of mess is that? That's not a crime.
Exactly.
We pull out enough stuff. A lot of things are not going to even match for whatever reason. We do, because I used to shop for people. Mm-hmm. I used to do that. That's how I earned a little extra income.
Right.
I used to go shopping for people, and I had done that for 30 years. I kid you not. It's just that as of the last 2 years, it just wasn't worth it because everything went up, less coupons, stores closing. It was nothing I could do.
Right.
So it is what it is. But I hear you on that pen thing. I mean, everything's a darn pen. I couldn't believe that the newer computers got to unlock the screen as a PIN number.
Right.
No.
Right. So I'm like, I love this. The Galaxy S9 Plus, it can unlock my screen with reading my irises. Now, how effective is that? I don't know. But it works, right? When it catches my eyes the right way. And I'm good with that, man. I don't have to remember nothing. I don't have to remember my pattern. I don't have to remember what numbers I put in or the words. All I got to do is let the phone look at me. I'm okay with that. I know. Is it safe? I don't even know. I'm just tired of having to remember stuff, right? I don't have to remember how to set my eyes a certain way, right? They're just made this way. So we're good. I need more of that in my life. Read my irises. But yeah, no, right. It's so funny listening to the story because I've always been the kind of person where I've shopped for people in my family or friends or whatever before. But also I send Mr. Ruby shopping to pick up this, that, and the next thing. He might have misplaced his card. He'll be like, okay, let me grab yours. And then I always make sure, and he makes sure too, before he gets into the line, even, he texts me and it's like, what's your PIN again? Just to be positive he doesn't mess it up. And it's actually literally for this fear. You know what I mean? Black man with a woman's card, woman's name on this debit card or whatever. They're going to arrest him. They're going to detain him. They're going to notice. Well, you know what? The best thing we can do is just make sure there's no problems. There's no problems. He knows the PIN. and that's it. You know,
Yeah.
it's a terrifying thing to be a black man in public these days. It really is. Like
Yeah.
I just didn't we just talk we talked about this just the other day. It was saying something along the lines of, now I can't remember in what context, but I do remember bringing up the woman who went to the loony bin for a week for claiming that the Mercedes she was driving is hers and that she had a job in a Fortune 500 company and she knew the Obamas. She must have been insane for claiming that her life, which was her life, was her life. That like that's what it is. They look at us and they see poverty and they see failure, and any evidence to say you aren't failing, you got a good credit report, you know what I mean, you got a good job, you know, you've got opportunities and whatever. They look at us and they go, oh, you must be lying. It must be criminal somehow. That is infuriating. I understand why you're mad. That's horrible.
Okay.
Well,
All right. Your turn.
you're right. Okay. Cleansing breath.
Yes.
Well, let us talk a little bit. Just a little bit more, unfortunately. Sorry, y'all, but you know it is what it is. This is what's out there. Let's talk a little bit more about this police bias thing.
Okay. All right. So I'm not getting anything on my end. Let me remove it and put it back. Let's try it. There you are twice. I guess I'll move the other one. All right.
Sorry about that. My Chrome shut down. So
No problem. I understand.
Right? That was fun. Okay. So I don't know how much you got to hear, but I was saying that my next article is about some bias. So we keep saying black in public. And, you know, we'll bring up the occasional thing to prove our point. I want to bring up yet another case that proves our point that, yes, there is absolutely a bias. So let's take a look here at this gentleman, call him that, and listen to the story. Get the volume going and switch, and let's go.
And breaking now, a gun battle between Escambia County Sheriff deputies and a wanted man, prompting an hours-long search in a wooded area off Pensacola. At least 75 officers from different agencies working together on this one. Fox News reporter Marella Porter now with the story.
Armed and dangerous, Tyler Edwards Brooks disappearing into the woods after Escambia County deputies say he shot at them while they were serving a warrant. Deputies say Brooks had a long gun pointed at a family member when they showed up. They say he started firing at them when he saw them. At least 4 deputies were involved in the gunfight with Brooks, who ran into a wooded area near Softly Pines Road and Matthews Junction. Dozens of officers with several agencies searching the area for a few hours with the help of canines and drones.
He'd gotten all the way out to the Perdido River.
A canine tracking him down in the woods.
He always seems to get his man. So I think that Shorty may well have saved the life of the Mr. Taylor because he did have some gunshot wounds. We were able to get to him pretty quickly.
Escambia County Sheriff David Morgan says Brooks was shot at least 3 times during the gun battle. He was taken to the hospital.
All right. So now, first of all, what I love about this is that it proves the fact that they actually do know how to shoot people without murdering them immediately. Like they it is possible for a cop to shoot somebody and they don't die. I mean, I almost never hear it when they shoot at black people. They manage to hit their target pretty dead on. But they shot him 3 times. That means they were not shooting to kill. They were shooting to injure, to slow him down, so that way they could catch him, right? So, and this is after not, oh, well, he fled and someone said he was dangerous. This is after a shootout. He was shooting at you. He was shooting at you as officers, and you shot him not to kill, but you shot him to injure him so you could bring him in. Now, the first thing is, right, and you got to wonder, okay, well, why was this happening, right? Well, the reason why the cops were there at all. According to online court documents, Brooks threatened to kill his mother back in April, resisted arrest, and struck a deputy. At that time, he was not shot by the police. At that time, he was not injured by the police. In fact, he was brought to court, and they released him. So, when he failed to appear in court for a second time today, after skipping out earlier this month, deputies went looking for him. Okay, so let's point out, so this man threatened to kill his mother, was in the process of threatening to kill her when police showed up. At that time, he resisted arrest, struck a deputy. Okay, struck a deputy. So they arrest him, finally. They get him back into jail. He goes before the judge. Now, he don't look that rich to me. So I'm going to guess they released him either on his own recognizance or on very, very low bail. Something along those lines. Either way, they released him after assaulting a police officer, resisting arrest, and threatening to kill his mother. Then he doesn't show up for court. Not once, but twice. Then when they do find him, he decides to do a shootout with them. Shootout. Where they don't shoot to kill, they shoot to maim or injure, so that way they can catch him. Then they send drones to find him, so that way they could target him where he is hiding and bring him in peaceably. Where they do not continue to injure him. They do not shoot him at that point as they approach him. No. They make sure that they approach him and bring him in without any further injury. Where he goes to the hospital, gets treated for his bullet wounds, which were obviously not critical. And then there you go. So apparently you can reach into your pocket to take out a cell phone, to take out your wallet for the ID that they just asked you for, and get shot and killed instantly. Right. You can turn and just try to run away from the police and have a taser. A taser. I mean, the list can go on and on about just the recent deaths, just this year alone. Right. And when the person is black, shot and killed instantly because they can shoot to kill. But when you're a white man, you can resist arrest, even physically hurt the detectives that are there after threatening to kill your mother. And they cannot hurt you, not injure you, not shoot you, not tase you, bring you in without incident, keep you safe and sound. The judge can say, I think you're a fine, upstanding citizen. I'll release you on your own recognizance. And then when you don't show up for court twice and they find you, you can start shooting at them and they won't shoot to kill. Right. And then when they locate you hours later with drones, they don't shoot to kill still. Remember, you just spent your time trying to shoot them. No. They're going to bring you in without further injury, so your bullet wounds can be treated. You're just a lost young white man. I mean, come on.
And the guy was glad too when he did the report. He's like, oh, you had quite a bit of injuries. You were able to get him to the hospital, get them treated.
Right. Right. Exactly. There's this is the thing. Oh, well, thankfully no deputies were injured at the time, and thankfully. Really? Really? How many black men have you killed? Unarmed black men have you killed this year where no deputies were injured, not so much as struck? But this man could have 2 incidents with you, one in April, one in August, one where he hits you, one where he shoots at you, and he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine. I could not believe this. I could not believe and they'll say there's not a racial issue underlying this at all. Not at all.
No, of course not.
Nope.
Yeah. Right.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Okay, well, on to something that's kind of nice.
Okay.
I say the best for last for those who have that student loan debt. Just so happy that the federal student loan payments officially suspended until 2021. No interest,
Nice.
no collection, and non-payments count towards forgiveness.
Nice.
So, congratulations, everyone, because I just never believed it would happen. Just
Me
never.
either.
Never, ever.
Wow.
Now, it is if it's a federally granted loan. So I know people do switch out to try to get a lower interest rate and everything, but if it's a federally held student loan, you good. And they
Nice.
first had it when the CARES Act until September 30th, but it's been extended till the end of the year, so December 31st. So that is really good because I know a lot of people that have student loans, and just a late payment, they just act a darn fool. They worse than I'm told that they are worse than the payday loans.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, yeah.
I hear that is pretty bad. So at least you're not going to have anybody to add on that interest and more interest and defaults and all of that. So I'm really happy about that.
I'm amazed they did it, honestly. I
Yeah.
really am surprised. Yeah.
I think only because it affected a lot of the dominant society.
Right. Like,
That's
I
what
would
I'm
have
thinking.
thought, though, that even with that, the zero interest part is the part that surprises me, honestly. I could see them saying, okay, no payments, or even saying no penalties for not paying until 2021, but I honestly would have assumed that interest would continue to accrue. So that is the part that I find the most surprising. Okay, we won't punish you, make your credit worse, but you're still gonna owe us more money. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of how it goes.
Because they're doing that with the credit card. You are able to defer it, but the interest continues.
Right.
But this is a really great for the student loans. They're able to have no interest. So that's really good. No one's coming after you, collections. And I'm glad because it has gotten so bad that they will take your Social Security check if you have a student loan. I wish I would have saved that article. I pulled it from it was a newspaper, and I pulled it, I think it was like in 2011. And I held on to it for a little while, then I was cleaning up. I said, I don't need this. Didn't know YouTube was going to be a part of my life because I would have loved to share that with people. It was a very incredible story from different people. They were discussing what had happened to them. Because a lot of people, they lost their jobs. They were in their 50s. They wanted to try something different. A new career, whatever. And stuff happened. And they were losing homes and all that, trying to catch up. And again, it was a really hard time for a lot of people because of the housing crisis. Some didn't fall behind after, and I think it was 2008, but some people fell behind about 2010, 11. and that's when it hit them.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they end up losing their jobs and all of that. So a lot of people went on to take classes and go back to school, try a new career, and next thing you know, they got caught up because a lot of companies continued to lay off. They were not hiring people at a good rate or a good salary.
Mm-hmm.
But those loans were saying, "Hey, it's been 6 months since graduation.
Right.
Pay me."
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do not care. Oh, you haven't been able to find a job? You can't even get a job at McDonald's because they think you're overqualified, so they won't hire you because they know that this is not going to be a long-term solution for you. Oh, we don't care. Pay me. that's it. They do not care at all.
Yeah, they sure don't.
Mm.
So that
Boy,
was some good news. Woohoo!
I was gonna say, man, that is some very good. I can't even believe it. You know what? If America can be that good, hold on. Maybe there's hope for me too. Let me go look into this real quick. Maybe my
Okay.
interest is stopping till 2021. Yes.
Woohoo! Yeah, we need a break. It's really tough out here.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't ask for this. We did not.
Exactly. That's the thing. Nobody asked to be in this position. Nobody. And so at the end of the day, do we deserve to get penal? I mean, sure, no one asked to be laid off. No one asked to be fired unfairly. No one asked for a lot of things that happen for you to be unemployed. But the whole thing is that when that happens, even though it might be uncomfortable or whatever, there are other ways to try to make ends meet. There's, if you fight hard enough and push hard enough, there's a way you can make ends meet. But this was a case where no one asked for this to happen and there isn't a solution. It's not like, oh, well, I'm temporarily laid off of my job. Oh, I can go get another one. It won't pay as much, but it'll help. Like, no, you can't work. Like, there's not another way of bringing in an income. There's nothing anyone can do because everything is closed. Everyone is unemployed. Everyone is social distancing. No one is allowed to have you blah, 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 blah. So it's like we're in a place where really and truly, you're not making excuses. There's really not another option. There's really not another way to go about this except to sit on your hands and wait it out. And that makes this has made a lot of people uncomfortable and unhappy. People who need to provide for family. They're used to being the provider and they're used to being stable with their income and, stable with their payments and stuff. And suddenly they're forced into this position where they can't be that. And it's making them really unhappy and really uncomfortable because even though they know it's not their fault, it's like you feel like it is somehow anyway. And so, we got to realize most people who are in these positions are beating themselves up way more than the credit card company or the mortgage company or whatever can beat you up. Because even though they know it's not their fault, it's like that feeling of powerlessness. So this is a really good, hopefully we get more notice like this. Not super hopeful, but hopefully we get more notices like this, right, in the future. Fingers crossed.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm looking out for it. I mean, anything that can help someone give them an idea how to juggle what's going on in their lives, make it easier, better, just a little relief. Hey, I'm for it.
Right. Exactly. Me too. Hello. All right.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I appreciate it. Mm-hmm. Thank you for your time, contribution of times, whatever you've given to the channel. Thank you so much. And we'll have a show next week. And again, to point out our Keep the Beat show, in case you didn't know what it is, I gotta tell you what it is. I'm gonna show you what it is. And here it is. And until next time, we're gonna see y'all later. All right. And peace.
Cheers, y'all.
Hey folks, it's your nighttime, it's your right time DJ Music. Make sure you join Char Willie each and every Saturday, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, for article reaction, right here on your local YouTube channel. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe to Article Reaction.
Yeah, wrong one. Sorry.
Join Char Willie and Classic Ruby for their radio show, Keep the Beat. They broadcast every Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on CRBJ, Classic R&B Jams. There are discussions of the songs, and that can take you back down memory lane. If you missed the live broadcast, no worries. Replays are uploaded on Mixcloud. So, follow JustAskChar Advice channel on Mixcloud, and you will receive the notification when these broadcasts are uploaded.